Hello everyone and welcome to the DYOR AKAY Academy. Today's lecture is on Introduction to Phonetics. Phonetics is one of the most important areas in linguistics because it deals with the actual sounds of human speech. Whether you are learning a new language, studying how children acquire their first words, or even trying to correct a speech disorder, phonetics give us the tools to understand exactly how speech works. In this lecture, I will guide you through what is phonetics, the three main branches of phonetics, the organs of speech and how they produce sounds, the International Phonetics Alphabet, also known as IPA, and finally, the importance of phonetics in real life. What is phonetics? Phonetics is the scientific study of speech sound. Now, let's pause here. When we say speech sounds, we don't mean letters of alphabet like A, B, or C. Instead, we are talking about the physical sounds that we produce with our mouth and hear with our hair. For example, in English, the words bat and pat differ only by the first sound. B is voiced while p is voiceless. Phonetics helps us to explain exactly how they sound different, even though they look almost the same writing. Phonetics is different from phonology. Phonetics study the actual production and perception of sounds. Phonology studies the way those sounds function and pattern in a language. So, think of phonetics as the physical reality of speech, while phonology is the mental organization. The three branches of phonetics. Now, let's look at the three major branches. The first one, articulatory phonetics. This deals with how speech sounds are produced by our own vocal organs. When you speak, different parts of your mouth, like your tongue, lips, teeth, and vocal cord, work together to shape sound. For instance, when you say the sound t, your tongue touches the ridge just behind your upper teeth. That ridge is called the alveolar ridge. So, T is called an alveolar sound. The two, acoustic phonetics. This study what happens to speech once it leaves your mouth as sound waves. It looks at frequency, pitch, intensity, and duration. Think of it like this. When you record your voice on a computer, the computer displays your speech as waves. That is the domain of acoustic phonetics. Now we have auditory phonetics. This studies how we hear, we process speech sound. It asks questions like how do you how do our hair pick up sound waves? Like how do we perceive it? How does our brain recognize the difference between sounds like l and r? A good example is that Japanese speakers often find it hard to distinguish between English l and r because their language does not have make that distinction. Now, speech organs and sound production. To understand articulatory phonetics better, let's briefly talk about the organs of speech. The lungs provide the air that drive speech. The vocal cords, these found in the larynx, they vibrate for voiced sound like b, d, and g. The tongue is one of the most flexible organs, shaping many sounds. This makes it a mobile organ. Very, very important. Now we have the lips. This is used for sound like p, b, and ma. We also have the nasal cavity, which allows nasal sound like m, n, ng. The IPA is a system developed by linguists to present every speech sound in the world without a unique symbol. With a unique symbol, rather, unlike ordinary letter that can sometimes confuse us, IPA is consistent. One sound equal one symbol. For example, the word think, think is written as this in IPA. The word this is written as that in IPA. Here, th and th present two different th sounds in English, though many tonal language speakers find it difficult to differentiate between these two sounds. Without IPA, it would be difficult to explain this difference. Why is phonetics important? Now, you might be wondering, why should we care about phonetics? Here are some reasons. Language learning. It helps learners pronounce words correctly, and also in the aspect of speech therapy, helps professionals correct speech disorder. For instance, there are children who have difficulties in pronouncing some sounds like l, r, n, ng, even ts. But with this, it will help the professional to correct speech disorder. And we have the forensic linguist. The forensic linguistics in this aspect, the voice recognition in crime investigation. And we have linguistic research, understanding how language evolve and change. In the technology aspects, like the hero we had today, the voice assistants like Siri and Alexa use phonetic science. So phonetics is not just theory, it has real life application that affect everyday communication. In fact, AI, ChatGTP, and others. To wrap up, phonetic is the study of speech sound. It has three branches: articulatory, acoustic, and auditory phonetics. Speech sounds are produced by various organs, such as the larynx, tongue, lips, and vocal cord. The IPA provides a consistent way to represent sounds across all languages, and phonetics is important in language teaching, therapy, forensic science, and technology. Thank you for joining this lecture on Introduction to Phonetics. Don't forget to subscribe to DYOR Academy for more lecture on linguistics